What's good, you guys? It's me, Jordan Young, aka Sneakonomics, back with another YouTube video. And today I want to talk about what's coming up this week in releases. And because there's not much coming up, I thought I'd take some time to talk about the Jordan 2023 lineup that was announced earlier this week. So let's get into it. If you are new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button for everything sneaker related. To everybody else that has already subscribed and out here supporting the channel, I want to thank you all very much. The growth has been real and I really appreciate it. So coming up this week, there's really only two sneakers worth mentioning in my opinion. On Thursday, you've got the Air Max 1 Penny, which is a really cool model and is coming out in this really clean colorway with what look to be really nice materials. The price point's about £165. If you're an old school mid-90s NBA fan, you'll know that Penny was the absolute man. Him and Shaq together were a formidable force. And apart from Jordan, I feel like Penny probably has the strongest lineup of NBA basketball kicks from the 90s. It's a tricky one because £165 is it's quite a bit of money, and I do have my eyes on another release. So I don't think these will be hard to get, but it'll probably be a pass from me. On Saturday, we have the release of the Air Jordan 3 Fire Reds. Now, this is the first time that the Fire Red has ever retroed in its original form with the Nike Air on the back. And for me, that's really exciting. For any OG, old school Jordan collector, this sneaker is an absolute must cop. It's coming out in a full-size run. It's about £180, and I feel like these should be pretty easy to get. Anytime you've got a full-size run from toddlers all the way up to men's, it means they're producing a lot of units. They're really looking to shift them, so it shouldn't be a hard pickup in my opinion. And for me, this is this week's must-cop sneaker. So the Jordan Retro Summer 2023 lineup was released earlier this week with some pretty cool retros on the horizon. So I thought we'd just take a moment to go through some of them and I'll give you my opinion. So first up, we've got the Laney 14s. I think these originally came out as a low top, if my memory serves me right. And so they've converted it to a high top 14. And it's a really nice colorway. The Laney colorway is classic. You'll recognize it from a whole heap of other Jordans that sport the Laney color motif. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of the 14s that look like this without the sort of like perforations going on down the side. So for me, these are a pass. Next, we've got some 11 lows in a yellow Python colorway. Even though the 11 high is like my favorite sneaker of all time, the 11 low just doesn't do it for me. I've had a few pairs over the years and I've just never really enjoyed having them. So these ones are a definite pass. Next up, we have the Air Jordan 13 Black Flints. These are really nice in my opinion. Really clean colorway. Between the gray, the white, and the black, it's a really stealthy colorway. Kind of reminds me of the Fear 4s. I think they'll be easy to get. Like most 13s, they won't sell out at all. They'll most likely brick. So it'll depend on how I'm feeling money-wise, whether I cop these or not. But I do really like the colorway. Next, we've got the Jordan 2 Low Cherry Wood. Now, I'm a big fan of 2 lows. I prefer the 2 lows to the 2 highs. And I feel like this colorway is really nice, really understated, low-key, very clean, subtle. These are a must cop for me, for sure. Next up, we got the Low 11 Cement Gray. Now, I see what they're trying to do here with the sneaker, replacing the patent leather with the all-time classic elephant print borrowed from the Jordan 3. I think they're kind of cool, but again, I don't like 11 lows, so these are going to be an easy pass. I think they'll sit in brick for sure. Next up, you got the Jordan 3 in the Lucky Green colorway. These are, again, a really clean upper with just a nice little splash of the Lucky Green on the logo, the eyelets, and on the midsole. Can't really go wrong with this kind of color blocking. It's maybe a little bit unimaginative, and maybe they're rinsing out this kind of style colorway on the 3s a little bit for my liking. But it's definitely tempting because I love Jordan 3s. I'll see how I feel closer to the time with these. Next up, you got the Jordan 1 High in the Lucky Green colorway, which borrows a lot from the DMP Celtics pack, which had the Jumpman on the logo and the heel. I actually had the DMP Celtic ones, and they were one of the worst quality Jordan ones I've ever had in my life. I sold them and couldn't wait to get rid of them. They were that bad a quality. These have got the Nike Air branding on the tongue and don't have the Jumpman on the heel, so they're a lot more clean and traditional. But because I already own the Pine Green ones, these are an easy pass for me. Next up, the Jordan 3 Wizards. These are one of the standout pairs in the lineup for me. I really like the Wizards colored motif. I like the sort of gold or bronze Jumpman on the logo, and they have a real true blue vibe about them. These I'm not 100% sure about if I'll cop them, but they're definitely very tempting. The Jordan 6 Toro Bravo. You can see the Toro Bravo 4s behind me. You might be familiar with the Raging Bull 5s. I think if you've got the Toros and you've got the Raging Bulls, these are probably a must add if you've got those colorways already in your collection. For me, they're just doing a little bit too much. These ones I think I'll probably pass on as well. We've got the Jordan 1 Black Washed. I don't know if they used the term washed on purpose here to describe how rinsed out the Jordan 1 model has become over the past couple of years, but it's certainly an appropriate adjective to describe this shoe. Last but not least, the Columbia 11s, which first made their debut on the feet of Michael Jordan during the 1996 NBA All-Star Game in San Antonio. I can remember watching that game live. It was such a standout game for me. These last came out back in 2014, I think, if my memory serves me right. And I can remember having them. They came out just before the Ultimate Gift of Flight Pack came out. And it's a clean colorway. It's one of the most iconic 11s out there. These will definitely be a pickup for me because I'd like to get them back into the collection. So for me, there's only really two standout models that I'm really keen to get my hands on. One is the Too Low, the Cherrywoods, and the other is the Columbia 11s. Be nice to add those to my collection. But the rest of them are kind of meh at best. I'm not overly excited about them, to be honest. But what are your thoughts? I'd really be interested to hear what you have to say about the prospective lineup for summer 2023. If you've made it this far, please consider hitting a like and dropping a comment, as well as subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you as always for watching. I appreciate it very much, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.